Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Lawyer. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com. On today's episode, we're going to talk about motorcycle accidents. These days, more and more people are enjoying the freedom of getting out on the road on a motorcycle, especially if you're lucky enough to live in an area that has nice weather most of the year, like Los Angeles. Unfortunately, with more motorcycles on the road, that means more accidents. And the question we're going to ask the lawyer today is, what are your rights? What are the laws surrounding bikers? And here to answer those questions for us today is attorney Alex Tofer of the law firm Tofer and Associates. So do you see in your experience when there are accidents, who seems to be at fault more often when it's a motorcycle and a vehicle? Do you see one or the other, or is it even?
Well, in our experience, we believe that the majority of motorcycle accidents can be attributed to the negligence of the vehicle driver. Our firm has a belief that anytime that we receive a call from someone who's been injured in a motorcycle accident, that we will take their case on, even if fault appears to fall mainly on their end, based on the fact that we've experienced that motorcyclists do endure significant injuries as a result of these accidents. And we've been able to force the insurance companies of the automobile driver to pay significant sums of money, even in accidents where the motorcyclist has high comparative of fault. But even if we find 1% fault on the vehicle driver, we will pursue it.
You mentioned the lane splitting. What is the law on the lane splitting in California?
Well, basically, from my understanding and our research, lane splitting is permitted in California so long as it's done safely. Unfortunately, like I said, a lot of vehicle drivers or auto drivers that don't own motorcycles are not familiar with that exception, and sometimes they tend to be discourteous to the motorcycle drivers and try to impede their path.
California also has a lot of tourists. A lot of people travel there from other parts of the country. If someone is not from the state of California, but it is in an accident in California, where should they get an attorney? In California or from their home state?
Well, wherever you have your accident, that's where the laws would apply to the actual incident. So it is always recommended that you find an attorney in the state where the accident occurred, because as California attorneys, we know the statute of limitations here, we know the guidelines, we know the specific rules that are applicable to accidents in our state, and we're licensed to file lawsuits and litigate cases in the state where the accident occurred. So I would always recommend that they hire counsel in the state that the accident did occur.
You mentioned insurance a minute ago. What sort of insurance should bikers have? Do they need to get special insurance for a motorcycle, or does their automobile insurance cover them? What do you recommend there?
That's a fantastic question. As a motorcyclist, your automobile insurance coverage, so long as the motorcycle has been added to your policy and you're a named driver, the accident would be covered. Now, with that said, as a motorcyclist, you need to understand that the potential of significant catastrophic, God forbid, injuries as a result of a motorcycle accident are much greater than those where you're in a vehicle that you're protected all the way around by the structure, the metal structure of the vehicle. So it is very, very important that motorcyclists, even the ones that just take the bike out for the weekend, understand that they need to increase their insurance coverages under their own policy to ensure that they have sufficient coverage to protect them and their family in case of a motorcycle accident. Those coverages, at a minimum, should be an uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage of at least $250,000 per incident.
I think some people probably think my motorcycle costs a lot less than my car, so I don't need to carry as much insurance. But as you pointed out, medical costs, if you're in an accident with an automobile from a motorcycle, are going to be much higher in general than if you're riding in an automobile, correct?
100% yes. Our average case involving a motorcyclist involves transportation from the scene to the hospital. The majority of them involve overnight stay at the emergency room and involve significant number of scans like MRIs, CT scans, X-rays, and so forth. The average medical bills that we face in a simple motorcycle accident, not a significant one, exceed $50,000 after the second day that they're released from the hospital. So I definitely want our riders to understand it's not about buying more insurance to cover the person if you're at fault for an accident, which is liability coverage. It's all about providing protection for you and your family through uninsured motorists, underinsured motorists, and medical payments coverage, so as to ensure that your family is protected and your medical bills are covered and your lost earnings are covered in case of an accident with someone who does not carry sufficient coverage, which in my experience is about 98% of the drivers on the road today.
Did you say 98%?
Yes,
Wow.
98%. The only providers that we find have adequate coverage for our motorcycle accidents are commercial drivers, such as big rig drivers, truck drivers, Uber, Lyft type drivers, Amazon delivery drivers, or these new companies like Postmates that deliver for a company. Those companies carry larger commercial coverages, which would afford a sufficient umbrella of coverage for our motorcyclist accidents. But if you're just a regular day-to-day driver, from our research, a majority of the day-to-day drivers right now are living day-to-day, paycheck to paycheck. So if they're lucky enough to be able to afford insurance coverage, they're buying the minimal coverage of only $15,000 per incident, or they're not buying insurance at all. And we're seeing that from the calls that we're getting in for new cases, we're up to about 35 to 38% of the calls we're getting. The person that caused the accident was uninsured.
And I assume there's no charge to speak to you, get an initial consultation if I'm not sure if I have a case or not?
Absolutely not. The benefit of contacting our law firm is that we're a family-based law firm, meaning that when you contact us, it's as if you're contacting a family member who's an attorney. There's never a consultation fee. And as a matter of fact, we don't even charge a fee unless we win your case. So if we take your case on and we're unable to obtain a recovery on your behalf, not only do we not charge you a fee, but we do not pursue you for costs that we advanced on your behalf either. We're here to help.
Thank you so much, Alex. A lot of great information. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been attorney Alex Tofer of the law firm Tofer and Associates based in the Los Angeles area. Please take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the button at the bottom of the screen. And if you want the best information about motorcycle accidents and the law, or you're ready to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, please visit AskTheLawyers.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com.